भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। अब 3 श्लोक और रह गए और 3 दिन रह गए। ठीक है, तो आपको 3 दिनों में 3 श्लोक की व्याख्या और सुना दी जाएगी। सर्वाणि भूतानि, भूत समुदाय, भूत कहते हैं भवन्तः। As I was telling you, this meditation process is very mystical and very great. It was not so popular in our teaching process. It was headed by great seers in Upanishad. Because our great seers told that if a person is not proper and has no sanctity, don't try to teach this mystical knowledge. Due to that, it was prohibited in your holy scriptures. But by the grace of my divine master, I started to teach it openly to all people, and I believe if person is eager, then automatically will accept and put in daily practice, and he will be benefited. There is no doubt. Purpose of religion, purpose of meditation is to realize unity with Supreme Cause. Either one is believing in God or not. There is no question about God. Question is only reality, and we all are aware about this truth. Reality is one that can't be finite. You can say God, you can say any other name. Never mind. But that reality is one, and that one is infinite. In Upanishad we are reading that infinity is source of happiness. Bhuma eva sukham na alpam. There is no happiness in individuation. happiness is residing into infinity. And we all want to be happy. This is our inner desire. According to Vedanta or Upanishad, when we will merge our little entity into infinity, then we will achieve endless happiness. When we are realizing happiness in our life, if you will pay your attention, if you will pay your heed, you can understand that when you are forgetting your little I amness, when you are forgetting your individuation, only that state you are realizing happiness. You are feeling happiness in your life. And you are feeling peace too. But when you are holding your I amness strongly, when you are emphasizing your egoistic concept, then automatically you are feeling lackness and you are feeling sorrows too. It means happiness is the result of infinity. In Upanishad we are reading Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Supreme cause has three qualities: eternal entity, knowledge, and infinity. It means your I amness is projection of that supreme entity, because your little I amness has little knowledge too. And your little I amness always demands to be unlimited. Limitation is not dear to any person. Every person always thinks to be infinite. But he can't spread his own individuation into infinity form. Only he can achieve infiniteness when he will merge his little I amness into infinity. Because infinity can't be so many. That is only one. So you can't bring infinity in your little I amness, but you can dissolve your little I amness into infinity and be infinite. That is the one process. Our great seers told that if you want to achieve infinity, you must dissolve your little I amness into infinity and you will be infinite. You will be. There is no doubt. So this meditation is the process through which one can, analytical process, reach at that point where his own entity looks like a drop of infinity. And automatically he becomes infinite. This is a very good process. And this process is called Maha-yoga in Upanishad. As indicated you many times, that in this process there are 4 kinds of process included in one method. Breathing exercises, that is called Hatha Yoga, and chanting mantra, that is called Mantra Yoga, and nowadays in North America and Europe, this Mantra Yoga become very popular in the name of Bhavatit, Samadhi, and sort of transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation is nothing but mantra yoga. Okay? So, that process is included in this process, this practice. And third is called Laya Yoga. And fourth is called Raj Yoga. And awareness about your surrounding position or your own state is called Raj Yoga. And dissolution of your little I amness into infinity is called Laya Yoga. So these four process of meditation are included into one process, one practice, that is called Maha Yoga in Upanishad. This very great process. So if you will put in your daily practice, then one day will come, or that day will come not after death, but in your present life, not after so many years, but very soon in your life, when you will realize infinity in diversity. This very great method, I believe that I taught here about 20 days, and you all are aware about this method, and if you will utilize it in your daily practice, then you will be benefited. May God bless you all. Now I am going to give my talk on Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. Today is last shloka. That is 20th shloka. There are 20 shlokas in this 15th chapter, and this chapter is called Purushottam Yoga, union with Supreme Cause. Yoga means union, and Purushottama means Supreme Cause. So this chapter is called Purushottam Yoga, union with Supreme Cause. Okay? And in this chapter, Lord Krishna stated the real nature of Supreme Cause and his own projection. He projected himself into two forms, and these forms are called nature and spirit. Endless energy, as I told you, infinite energy, and infinite spirit too, infinite consciousness. Both are projection of one Supreme Cause, that is called Parabrahma. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is called Parabrahma. He is Parabrahma. And many seers declared that he is incarnation of Parabrahma. But when he is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, he is, residing on that state which is called Brahma Bhuta athva Brahma Buddha. So he is living in Brahma Buddha and giving his message. And it is very good story in Mahabharata. When Mahabharata war was finished, and King Yudhishthira was reigned, and Lord Krishna told that now I completed my work, and please give me permission, I will go at my own place, Dwarka. Then all Pandavas and their mother Kunti become upset, and Kunti started to cry. and she caught his holy feet. My Lord, don't leave us. He told, no. I did my own work. Now I become free. I had to go at my place. And Kunti asked, my Lord, I don't want this kingdom. I want only exiled again. Because when we were living in the jungle, you were with us. When I got this kingdom and you are leaving us, she told. Kunti asked, my Lord, when you are living in forest, jungle, when you are exiled, at those days you were with us. And now we achieved kingdom and my son become Emperor of India. Now you are leaving us. So I don't want such kind of empire which keep us away from you. We don't want such kind of empire. So please send us again in forest, but live with us. She requested. And Lord smiled. Okay, but it is not possible to, send you again in jungle, exile you again. But it is not possible to me to stay always with you too. Then, okay, I will live some days more. Then Arjuna came and he caught his divine feet and asked, my Lord, I pay you with folded hand and I ask you with a humble request, teach me again at that knowledge whatever you gave me when I was infatuated in the battlefield. And Lord smiled. Oh my dear, I can't repeat again that knowledge. Okay? At that time I was in the state of Brahmahuda. And I was in my real nature. At that state I gave you my divine message. At that message are collected by a great seer Vyasadeva. And he can spread that ideology again, but I can't repeat again. It is not possible now. I am not now in that state. So I can't repeat again that knowledge. He requested, okay, I know you can't repeat word by word same, but you are omniscient Lord. You can teach me again something. Yeah, I will teach you. Then he narrated a good story that is called Anu Gita. In the end of Mahabharata, that is very good, chapter. That is called Anu Gita. So he describes again, but not same knowledge, whatever you will find in Bhagavad Gita. It means this Bhagavad Gita was taught by Lord when he was in the state of Brahmahuda. Due to this, in Bhagavad Gita we are reading Sri Bhagavan Vacha, not Sri Krishna Vacha. Sri Krishna is the incarnation of Lord, incarnation of Brahma. Sri Krishna is incarnation of Brahma. And this Gita was taught by Brahma himself, not by his own incarnation. Okay? When Krishna was teaching this Bhagavad Gita, giving this knowledge, he was in that state, the Brahmahood state. Okay? Then he gave this divine knowledge, divine message. So he told that I can't repeat again same message. But by the grace of divine, this was collected by a great seer, Vyasadeva, because he was fully aware about that. And his dear disciple, Sanjaya, has such divine vision by the grace of his Guru. And he collected all knowledge in his memory. And he repeated the same way. And he taught that knowledge to a king, Dhritarashtra. As we are reading in beginning, Dhritarashtra is asking, when my children and children of Pandava came in battlefield, what they did, how they started their fighting. It means what? How they started their fighting and what they did. Then Sanjaya started whole story, and he taught this divine message, repeated divine message. And in the end he told, Rajan Sansmritya, oh my Lord, when I am, thinking about that glory of God Krishna, Lord Krishna, and my all hairs, okay, and stands, and my heart become full with love and devotion. And he told that I know Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, where there is Lord Krishna and where there is great warrior Arjuna, Tatra Sri Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvanitra Matri Mama. Only there is victory and there is prosperity and there is religion, righteousness too. He told. In the end. It means this Bhagavad Gita is the message of God. Okay? Message of Supreme Brahma. And I told you this 15th chapter is the perfectly a Shastra in itself, perfect message and complete message and gist of Veda and Vedanta, because in this chapter Lord described Kshara, Akshara and Purushottama. These are seed of this universe. Kshara means nature, Akshara means spirit, and Purushottama means source of both. Okay, as I described yesterday. So this was very good chapter. In this visit, I completed this chapter here. It was, I think, that grace of divine. I did it. May God bless you all. Now I will describe in my own language, because this is okay. Sri Krishna Vande Jagat Guru. 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 Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansacharur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Mudire. Pranamya Shirsa Devam Marutim Karunakaram Karomi Gita Vyakhya Bhagavad Bhava Prakashini. परावर रूप में उपस्थित मेरी प्रिय आत्माओं, करुणानिधान भगवान की करुणा आप सभी के लिए सदैव कल्याणकारिणी हो, यह मेरी आंतरिक शुभकामना। भगवान पुरुषोत्तम अपने यथार्थ रूप का अवबोधन कराते हुए इस 15वें अध्याय में यह बता रहे हैं, उत्तम पुरुषस्तु अन्य परमात्मा इति उदाहृत यह लोकत्रयम् आविश्य बिभर्ति अव्यय ईश्वरः यस्मात् क्षरम् अतीतः अहम् अक्षराद् अपि च उत्तमः अतः अस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतिथः पुरुषोत्तमः। यह माम एवं असम्मूढ़ जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं सह सर्ववित् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत। इन 3 श्लोकों में भगवान ने अपने यथार्थ स्वरूप का अवबोधन कराया है। इनसे पूर्व के श्लोक में भगवान ने क्षर और अक्षर की व्याख्या की। क्षर सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थो अक्षर उच्यते। और उसके पश्चात बताया कि उत्तम पुरुष जो है, उत्तम, उत्तम माने इन दोनों से ऊपर, दोनों का कारण जो है वह अन्य पुरुष कहा जाता है, अन्य कहा जाता है, और उसे परमात्मा ऐसा कहते हैं। वह क्षर से अतीत है और अक्षर से उत्तम है, इसलिए वह तीनों लोकों में व्याप्त होकर के तीनों लोगों का धारण करता है और इनका शासन करता है। क्षर से अतीत और अक्षर से उत्तम होने के नाते ही लोक और वेद में उसे पुरुषोत्तम नाम से कहा गया है। वह पुरुषोत्तम नाम से प्रसिद्ध है। ये पुरुषोत्तम तत्व की व्याख्या की। अब यहां पर भगवान ने कहा, यो माम ए असम्मूढ़ो जानाति पुरुषोत्तम। जो मुझे इस प्रकार से पुरुषोत्तम में हूं ऐसा जानता है। यहां पर एक बात बहुत महत्व की है, जानाति पुरुषोत्तम, पुरुषोत्तमम जानाति। अभिप्राय को केवल पढ़ता नहीं किताब में कि मैं पुरुषोत्तम हूं, केवल व्याख्या नहीं देता कि भगवान पुरुषोत्तम है, केवल सुनता नहीं कि भगवान पुरुषोत्तम है, फिर वह जानता है कि भगवान पुरुषोत्तम है। जानने का फल है, जानने की महिमा है, जानने का ये परिणाम है, जानने का। इसलिए मैं हमेशा कहा करता हूं कि भारतीय धर्म विज्ञान जो है वह जानने पर अवलंबित है, मानने पर अवलंबित नहीं है। वो मानता नहीं कि मैं पुरुषोत्तम हूं, जानता है कि मैं पुरुषोत्तम हूं। जैसे रामायण में तुलसीदास जी ने कई स्थानों पर यह घोषणा की है, सी राम में सब जग जानी, करो प्रणाम जोर जुग पानी। मैं इस सारे जगत को सी और राम में जानता हूं, मानता नहीं। वो ये नहीं कहते कि मेरी ऐसी मान्यता है, आई बिलीव, नो, आई नो। दे नेवर से आई बिलीव, बट आई नो। वो कहते हैं मैं जानता हूं कि ये सारा विश्व सीताराम में है, इसलिए करो प्रणाम जोर जुग पानी। जड़ चेतन जग जीव जत सकल राम में जान। मैं जानता हूं कि जड़ और चेतन ये दोनों राममय है, जानता हूं, मानता नहीं। मानी हुई बात को आप किसी अवस्था विशेष में बदल नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि मान्यताएं बदलती रहती है। मान्यताएं जो हैं वो मनुष्य की बदलती रहती हैं।